Hello everybody. Finally got the time to continue with my videos on C++. Sorry about being very late. I didn't have much time, but that doesn't matter because here I am back again. Alright, we went through quite a lot in previous videos. We had 8 videos sequence. This is the 9th video that we're making, and it's going to be about functions. Alright, it's really fun stuff. This is, I can say, one of the great leaps of a new programmer to go towards object-oriented programming concept. If you can understand functions and if you can manipulate functions well, I can guarantee you will become a great programmer, and it won't take you much time. Alright, let's get into it. In this video, instead of doing slideshows, I will show you what I mean with programs like I have done on a few videos. So let me just open up a new file on gedit on my Linux. Alright, I'll just call it test.cpp. Alright. Alright, we know what all these things are. Maybe we don't know it, but you have seen this before. That should be enough for now. And this in this little program that we have, it's a complete program. It doesn't do anything, but it's complete. But what's important here is for you to notice is I've been telling you need to write a main function. A program starts with a main function, but I never told you what a function is. So that's what today's video is going to be about. Alright, I'm guessing I'll make 2 videos for functions, but I'm not sure. Let me see. So I told you a C++ program starts with the main function. Right here it is called int main, and we have this little parenthesis and there's curly braces like always. Nothing different here. But you can declare your own functions on C++. For example, let's say the functions that I'm going to show you right now may not seem very useful, but you can write your own function that does a group of tasks. You can put those group of tasks inside a function so that it will be, your program will look in more like a modular type. Okay, I'll show you what I mean about that. So let me say that I have an integer a, right, and I'm giving it value 5. Let me see, I have integer b, that's also 5, and integer c that doesn't have a value, and I want to do a c equals to a plus b. All right, so what this program does, we all know there's nothing adventurous about it, but it's just a simple addition. But when you get into function, I really like the concept of function. I only write whatever is absolutely necessary in the main function. The rest of the things in my program all goes into function. All right, may not be this simple addition type of function, but a lot of things always go into function in the programs that I write. All right, what I can do here is I said that this main is an integer function, right? I can declare myself another integer function. Let's call it addition. All right, and for now I'll just write this much. All right, you can see here I have said another function. This first function is the main function. This right here is the addition function, right? Main function inside, I told you in my first video, I think there's nothing inside this parenthesis, but this parenthesis is very, very important, because here when you have declared your own function, you can say that let's say e and f. Now what this function means, int addition function, which is of type integer, it means that it can take 2 variables for its own computation, and it will call those 2 variables e and f, and both e and f needs to be integer. Okay, from main function I can call that addition function in this way. I can write addition a b. Okay, so far very simple. Now let me tell you what exactly is going on here. Now what's happening is I'm calling this addition, right? Same name, it has to be exact same name. I'm calling this addition and I'm sending a and b that I declared here as an integer inside this function, but the whatever value was there with a and whatever the value there was for b will be given to e and f respectively. All right, so now here inside this function, if I want to do cout e, and let's say I give some space and I want to do f. Now this is going to give me whatever value is stored in a, it's going to print here, and whatever value is stored in b is going to print here. All right, so this e and f are called the local variable of this particular function. This e and f only exist for this function, it does not exist anywhere else. If you try to call here, let's say cout e after this function, it's going to say that e is not declared in this scope. Okay, that's what scope means. Scope means where it is declared, it can only be used inside that curly braces. I think I already have one video about these scopes, but just a refreshment. All right, this pretty not very hard to understand stuff, but it still takes a lot of people quite a time to get hold into this scoping thing. All right, now, for example, if I would have said outside both of these functions, if I would have said here int z, then z has a scope of everything, and it's called a global variable because it can be accessed globally anywhere in the program. I can just access here z equals to 3, it will not complain. I can say here z equals to 5, it will not complain. All right, so that's called a global scope that is declared even outside main function, and if it is not inside any other function, it is called a global function and it can be accessed by anything in the program. Using usage of global function is not very recommended. Only use it when it is absolutely necessary. Okay, as you go on writing a program, you'll find it find this suggestion that I just told you very useful. Okay, so as I told you, there's this addition function here that takes one integer, puts that integer value inside e, and another integer f puts that value, whatever value is sent inside f, and if we want to do some operations in here, then it's just going to do that right here. Let me just declare another integer called z and say that z is going to be summation of e and f, just like that. Let me get rid of this, and also let's just take that out and take this out for now. Now you can see I said z, I have declared another variable called z inside addition. Again, z is not going to be seen inside this main function, it is for this addition function. All right, so we have integer z, right? So I told you in my second video, we return normally 0 from this function. So since it is an integer function, it needs to return something that is an integer. Okay, so it is expected that this function returns an integer. Okay, even if you don't return it, it will not give you any error, maybe some warning, it will still work, but it is expecting an integer to be returned from this function. Okay, so if I say return g, and here now what's going to happen is this function, when I call addition from here and send a and b, this is going to send a and b as e and f inside this function, and e and f are going to be added. That value is going to be stored in g, and g is going to get returned. Okay, now since some value is returned from this function, we wanted to capture that value stored somewhere. So let's say that is going to be stored in c. Okay, so just like that, c equals to addition of a and b. That looks pretty simple and very easy to understand also. Okay, now if I see out here c, I have just created a simple addition function. That is one core concept of a function right there. It's not very hard, and I have no idea why I was writing C++. Okay, Z++, test.cpp, so test. All right, okay, there we go. Now if I see out test, there is 10 right there. NDL, okay, just to make the output a little more visible. Right there, there's 10. Okay, simple stuff. It's that's the idea of a function. If I say that, there we go. You see, that is the idea of a function. It's you pass something to it. If you want it, you can return something from a function. You can use it like this. This may not seem very helpful, but there are certain times when you want to split your programs into different parts. When you get somewhere in the program, you want to say, okay, this chunk of code does one piece of thing and I want to put it somewhere else so that I don't mess with it later. Okay, you put that in a function. Just pass the values inside that function. Since that value is not cannot be accessed by other functions naturally, you have to pass those values like we did here and use those. Okay, that's pretty easy stuff. Okay, and what you can also do is, if you don't want anything to get returned from a function, then you can call that function a void function. Okay, let's say void print something. All right, I've declared a function called print something. All right, and I'm going to say inside this function, just print something, printing nothing. All right, if I just say that, okay. All right, now this function, when you call this function, let's call it right here. No need to do cout. Let's just say print something like that. Now what's going to happen is it's going to actually, since it is not returning anything, since it is a void, you don't have to return it, and it's not expecting anything to get returned by the main function. So when you say print something, it's this one says that we are calling a function. This parenthesis means that it is a function, not a variable. If I would have said print something like that, that would have meant that I was trying to call a function. I was trying to get a variable, not a function. Okay, that this line and this line are totally different. When you're calling a function, there's always a parenthesis. When there is a parenthesis, it is guaranteed that it is calling a function in C++. Okay, this one could be a variable, could just be a statement, anything. All right, so let's get rid of that. Now we have called two functions right here and right here. This function addition returns something, so we are capturing that return in C, and cout, we are doing cout for C, and we are just asking this void function that says print nothing, whose name is print something right here. Now let's see what it does. Just like that, print nothing. You see, pretty easy stuff. That's but this is not like what you are saying right now. Trust me, it's not this boring. It's actually really fun to write about functions. Okay, now this as I told you, a value of A gets copied and stored into C, value of B gets copied, stored into F. In this case, it doesn't have anything to send or receive. Just we don't store the value, whatever is returned, into anything, and we don't send any values to it. You can explicitly also say that it's going to be void right here. It doesn't take any values, and just say void. That is also fine. But by default, if you say nothing, then that's a void for C++. Okay, that's also pretty simple stuff. This is basic function description in C++. There's a lot more to a function than what I just told you. I think I'll get to all those things in next video rather than this video itself. But in this way, as I told you, you can write function similarly like you had done for addition. You might want to write for subtraction or multiplication, division, or even modulus, that gets you the remainder when one number is divided by another, or you can also write, say C is going to be 5. You can also say C is going to be C plus addition. This whole thing will be treated just as another variable because it returns a variable. See, just function is just it have a lot of power. You'll find that out as you go on with programming. but you can use it just like how we have learned the variables to be used. Okay, so it's that simple. You don't have to think a function is big or it's hard to understand. It's very simple to understand. If you can understand, it's very good for you. Okay, so there we go. We have the basic concept of a function. Let me see if I have missed anything here just to start with the function. After we have functions, we'll go to object oriented, probably to classes and a lot of other things like that. Maybe before that we might go to other data types, complex data types that are there, but we'll get there. And after you get into object oriented, you will feel really powerful about writing programs because it has got so much power in it. All right, I have told you about scope in other videos also. I don't think I'll have to stress much on the scoping of that variable. Also, you might have been wondering, since I have used all integers here, you might want to experiment with a double that returns a double. Then whatever value that you are using here to store, that should also be a double. Okay, very important, not very hard. Okay, you can just say D right here and it works perfectly fine with that. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, now let's just print D here. Yep, see, 16. That's 5 plus 5 plus 6. Simple enough. So that's function, guys. We'll get into a little more advanced into function, not in anywhere close to advanced, but better than this in next videos. And what I would like you guys to do is check out my new website, learnfromsujit.com. I've tried to make it as good as possible, and just check this website out and let me know what you think. I haven't added any articles on science and technology yet, but I'm thinking about adding it. You can also watch all my videos here, and there's also resource page where you can download things you might need. There's a C++ quiz. It's not totally complete, it's on its way to be complete. There's a practice problems for C++. I haven't added a lot of things, but I'm on process on adding that one too. It's starting from video 1, what programs you can write, all will be there. And there's also a forum. You can start a forum, communicate with other people if you got any problems, mature your knowledge on programming. That's why you can go here, register for an account, then you will be able to comment on forum, add a forum, new forum, and also comment on videos, things like that. And you should also be, if you also need to contact me, this web page is a very good place for you to contact me. It's I should be able to reply you within at least a few hours if you contact me from here, so that is also good. So just look at the website, see what I can add into it to just make it more useful for you guys. And I just want people to learn about programming. I'm just very enthusiastic on letting people know what I know about programming. So, and also please share these videos to your friends, and if somebody wants to learn programming, just direct them to this website or YouTube. That will be, I'll be very pleased with that. So yeah, that's about all for this video, and I'll see you in the next video pretty soon. I'm hoping right after this video is done, I'm making another video. All right, have fun guys, take it easy.